I love the tapping ones.
Isn't it so cute?
I was at a restaurant recently and they brought over a lamp like that to the table and they said you can tap it to match your ambiance, and I said create your own ambiance. BYOA.
Wow.
Is the new BYOB.
I do love that. They are a pretty cool invention. So if anyone needs a lamp light or
a lamp light,
desk lamp light, I don't know. I saw one at a wedding venue and they had them on the tables in the bar and I was like, oh, this. I was tapping away on that thing.
Yes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite podcast. It's called Stop the Internet. I'm Kelly.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Already cutting her off. I'm Rebecca.
How are you today?
Fabulous. I run in a fabulous circle of people.
I love that for you.
It's a New York Housewives tagline.
Okay. I didn't know if it was
funny.
like a Sex and the City thing. I think I want to start watching Sex and the City.
I did it for the first time a couple years ago. I was also late to the game, and it's like, you must.
Okay.
It's so good.
I recently watched The Devil Wears Prada for the first time. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who didn't hear, via Rebecca's Substack. Subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Subscribe. Don't copy me.substack.com.
It's linked in the bio.
Oh, thank you.
Wait, the bio? No, it's not linked in the bio. It's linked. I always say bio when I mean description.
It's okay.
It's linked in the description, the show notes.
But it's linked in my Instagram bio.
True. I loved it. It was so good. And I actually, there is one thing that I didn't love about it, but I get why they did it. I kind of wish that no, I don't even wish this because it would have been too, of course, too expected. But I kind of wish that the intern had more, or the assistant had more of I get that she changed her whole personality to work in this setting. And then, okay, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, she then goes back completely to the life that she had before and didn't work in fashion whatsoever. I think it wouldn't have hurt for her to keep at least some fashion. She could have learned to love fashion a little bit and still been true to herself, you know?
But I think that's the point of this story, is that she couldn't. She found out
that she didn't actually like fashion.
Or it was changing her.
Okay.
Because you know that one scene where she looks in the mirror as she's putting on mascara and she just realizes that she's not herself anymore.
Yeah.
That was the moment she knew.
Okay.
Powerful stuff.
I do get it. I get that is one story, but I also think another story would be cool because people are ever evolving, and maybe she just didn't like fashion because she didn't understand it yet. But then once she started working in the fashion industry, maybe there could be some parts of fashion that she actually did like. And when she went back to her truest form, her love for, I don't know, something remained. We are ever evolving, you know?
Yeah.
But I guess the whole point is it would have been more expected if she continued to work for the boss and the boss just became a more normal person.
Right.
It's I don't know. Also, I had a friend who was an assistant to someone that worked at a huge magazine conglomerate in New York, and she said that it was exactly like The Devil Wears Prada. She said the boss was the boss to a T.
It's based on a true story.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, true story.
The author is Andy. It's semi-autobiographical.
Wow. So I guess it happens to a lot of people.
Yeah. I think it's obviously dramatized. Sigh. Yeah. But overall, I think it's pretty on the nose.
Yeah, which is kind of shocking. Yeah. Okay. In other news, have you listened to Selena Gomez's new album?
Do the people know about our group chat?
I don't think so.
Should we tell them?
Yeah.
We have a group chat with some fellow hosts called Selena. Because how did this happen? Was it over the summer? We were down the shore and we were talking about Selena, and then you put on so many music videos.
Selena Gomez's music videos are so slept on. And I get that she's not the most talented singer, technically, in the world. But her pop songs are so good. And also, they're not written by her, probably. A lot of them aren't. So, you can hate on Selena's voice or, her ability to, sing and dance or, whatever. But the songs that are produced with her vocals are good pop songs. And people don't want to admit it because they think that she's mediocre, which that may be true. Regardless, her music is so good because it's written by incredible music producers and artists. And maybe a little bit by her.
Yeah. No, I didn't listen. I'm not opposed to listening to the album. I don't know if I'm the target demo.
Okay, fair.
For this particular...
Well, I did just start listening today, so I didn't listen right when it came out.
Send me your faves.
Well, I only listened to the first maybe like 5 or 6 so far. They are so short. My first impression was the first song. It felt like it was 30 seconds long. And then even the one with Gracie Abrams seemed so short. So I don't know what's happening there. But so far, I don't think it's her best album.
Oh, you don't?
No. Her album Revival is so good. Rare is good. And also anything Selena Gomez in the Scene still stands.
True. I do
Year
love
Without Rain.
Yeah. I do love Bad Liar, Same Old Love.
So good. So good.
What's the one with A$AP Rocky?
Oh, Good For You.
Oh, love.
Such a banger.
So good. That was like
so good.
Did you know that The Idol is based off of her loosely?
No.
Allegedly?
Wait, what?
Yeah. Have you seen The Idol in full?
Yes.
Well, The
It's
Weeknd.
the first thing I said yes to when it came to like a television show.
Yes. I'm so glad. The Weeknd, who's in it, but also I think created it, or no,
I think
produced
he did.
it, something. Yeah. He apparently kind of based it off of when he was dating her.
Wow.
Lily Rose Depp is allegedly playing Selena.
Interesting.
So I kind of knew that going into it, and I like watched it through that lens. And I'm like, you really do have to keep an eye out for Selena.
Wait, that's so interesting.
Yes.
I just remembered it was written by the guy that did Euphoria or produced or something, but I'm sure The Weeknd, because he's such an artist, I'm sure he had a lot of like say in it. That's very interesting.
But then The Weeknd is also kind of telling on himself too, but I guess he doesn't care.
In what way?
If,
that he was kind of like a snake in a way?
Or if it's based loosely on their experience when they were together. I'm like, but then are you playing yourself in a way? Like that's...
Right.
I mean, obviously not. It's very hyperbolic.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
I just thought it was interesting.
That is interesting.
And also, I kind of liked that show. Sorry, not sorry.
It was very traumatic and crazy, but I enjoyed watching it.
Like HBO, that's where you go to watch like high quality production. Like The White Lotus, it's like, yes, I love what The White Lotus and the stories, but it's also just like expensive to look at.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The filming of it. Yeah. Very cinematic.
Yeah.
Very like, actually, I've only watched most of the first season of White Lotus. I didn't have HBO or Max, whatever they rebranded to. But then I just realized that I actually had been paying for it for the past 2.5 years.
Really?
Through my internet service, which I'm very mad about.
You just realized that?
Yep. Less than a month ago.
Well, now you have all these things. Sex and the City's on there.
Well, no, we canceled it because we were like, basically you're paying for it through the internet service, and then it's like a line item on your bill, and our bill was just getting so expensive and more expensive. And we were like, what is going on here? Cancel it. And when we called to cancel it, they were like, we'll just actually take all these extra things off and cut the price in half. Would you stay? And we're like, yes. Like, so clearly your prices are arbitrary and they mean nothing if you can just cut it in half. So we were like, if we remove all of this stuff, like they decided to cut it in half. So we removed it.
Ugh, that's annoying.
But I'm sure actually, you know what? First month when the customer service person promised us that the bill would be cut in half, first bill that we get after that, it's still on there.
Of course.
We're like, can I get this in writing? And she's like, oh, it's fine. You don't even need it in writing. I was like, I asked for it in writing so many times.
Yeah.
And she's like, we'll send you an email. And they did not. I was like, oh, this is so annoying, but whatever. Also, before I forget, I love the song from The Idol.
Me too. Oh, I love all those songs.
I'm just a freak, yeah. That song slaps.
And the dance routine?
I don't remember the dance routine, but I remember like...
Should we learn it?
Yes. Yes. That song is so good. And
all
it's
those
funny
songs.
because in the second line, or in the second verse, there's a line where she kind of like makes fun of herself. Like there's a scene in the show where he's like, your lyrics mean nothing or something. And she's like, I forget. In the second verse though, the line remains where she's like, in the car, drive fast. That like something really like very like she's indecisive, she can't decide, and it's like, whoa. There's something like that in the song where it's like really stupid, but they used it for a scene to like prove a point, but it just like stayed in the final production of the song.
It is good though.
I know.
Soundtrack.
It's okay, sorry. I'm jumping all over the place. Anyway, have never seen White Lotus. I'm trying to watch it every time I go over someone's house who has HBO.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Well, okay. I recommend you keep with it because the second season is the best. And now we're on the third and it's a little lacking for me.
Okay.
A little bit.
So it's always kind of like a mystery, right?
Yes, but it's not like a whodunit.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I'm no like TV show critic. So it is, there's a lot of subtleties, a lot of nuance, our favorite word.
Of course. I feel like that's a style that I was actually thinking about The White Lotus earlier because I heard people talking about it in a video. And I was wondering about if you would like it because you don't like scary things, but you kind of like dramas. And Rebecca loves Saltburn.
Oh, yeah.
For example. But that is, in a way, a psychological thriller. Like you could call it a psychological thriller, although it's also like a comedy and a drama, but it's
like a dark comedy. Isn't that what it's kind of labeled as?
I think it's labeled as a dark comedy, but I kind of considered it, I mean, I guess it's not a psychological thriller because the twist isn't like this intricate web. It's like, yeah. Okay. But
yeah.
I don't know.
I always use Game of Thrones as the example because I've something I can't watch because it's like apparently really gory.
Okay.
And just constant blood and like stabbing people.
Okay.
That's what I can't handle.
Got it.
I can pretty much handle anything else, but I don't like...
But you don't like psychological thrillers?
Give me an example.
Get Out.
See, I don't like horror or like...
Yeah, you know what? That teeters the line of horror, actually.
I
think that is a horror movie.
I think I've said this before, maybe, because it's like I'm having deja vu, but I don't like jumping.
Yes.
I don't like that.
Okay.
I'm already jumpy. I don't need to be jumping anymore.
Totally. Okay. Let me think of another psychological thriller that is... Psychological thriller is my favorite genre.
But see, I like Girl on the Train, Gone Girl. I can handle those.
Okay. Gone Girl's probably like a drama thriller, I guess you could say. Probably, right? That would be called a thriller.
Yeah. I love... wait, now I'm blanking. Oh, A Perfect Favor. Wait, no.
A Simple
Favor.
Okay.
Love that.
That's kind of like a thriller drama. Okay, I'm understanding you more.
But I did prefer the first half to the second half because the second half is when it gets a little spooky, and I did not like the part where she goes into the house of the parents.
I just watched it. Now I forget.
It really creeps me out where she pretends to be a cleaner.
I don't remember that scene.
Oh, I hate like when you're watching someone and you feel like they're going to get caught.
Yeah.
I hate that.
A scene in that movie that kind of was like that little like jump scare for me was when she cleaned out her I was like, I just like did the motion like so. That was weird.
But you break and jam and pop and lock.
Is that even legal? The scene where she cleans out the closet and then she goes back and gets rid of all the wife stuff, and then she walks in the closet and it's full and it's like the music is like boom and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
I want to direct a movie. That's on my goals list. I'm actually starting to put that into the universe now. I have been toying with writing movies and a limited series that I'm really passionate about. So I'm trying to, I'm brainstorming my connections because if you pitch something to Netflix, you need, basically we looked it up. My sister actually looked it up. Not anyone can just pitch something to Netflix, I'm sure, because they would have actually billions of people doing that. So you need to have a connection to someone at Netflix.
That's it?
Yeah, but like...
Get on LinkedIn, baby.
I guess it would be a little bit harder than that. I don't know. But
no, I see what you mean.
I have potential there. My 7-degree theory, or not mine. Everyone has it, but like, you know.
But like all you have to do, well, not all you have to do, but like you would just pitch the idea.
So there's probably a formal like pitching process, and like I'm pretty sure anyone can pitch. Like if you write a movie and you format it to be like a script, you can like pitch it to Sony. But the odds of it getting read, I think you like give them maybe like a description, and then it probably goes across like an intern's like, I don't know if it's actually an intern. I've heard people say intern, but like I don't know if they actually just put an intern in that, because there's like so much money there. But I think basically my friends told me this story. I'm not claiming it to be fact, but maybe it's true.
Yeah.
Severance. Have you heard of Severance?
Yeah, but I literally know nothing about it.
Okay. It's just a thriller, like psychological TV show, very like Black Mirror coded.
Oh, I wouldn't like that.
Okay. Actually, it's really not that crazy. Well, I don't know. I'm on the first season or the second season now. You actually probably would like it, but it's very slow, and it's like it's not that crazy.
I don't like sci-fi. I don't think that's another thing I don't like is sci-fi.
It's basically about in the future they create this technology to sever your memories. So one part of your brain remembers work and one part of your brain remembers the rest of your life.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you go to work, you don't remember the outside world, and when in the outside, you don't remember work. So it's not like that crazy, but like, I don't know, whatever. So, okay, what was I just saying? Oh yeah, apparently how Severance got picked up was the writer was like a younger like writer in like their career wise. They wrote a script, pitched it to this production company, and they said, cool, do you have anything else? And they were like, yeah, I'm working on this other thing called Severance. And then that's how it got. So they actually didn't even pitch Severance. They pitched this other thing, apparently. I don't know.
Huh.
That's what one of my friends told me.
Did they just email pitches@sony.com?
I think actually, yes. Like, I think there might be some sort of like portal or something. And I mean, at least for books, I know this for a fact. How you get published for books is you get an agent, and the agent is the only one. Oh, you already know this. Yeah. But I guess for the listener, like you get a book agent, and then the agent is your connection to the publishers. So like I cannot just contact Penguin Random House. I need like a middleman. So I need to then pitch my story to agents, and then they kind of sift through, and then they pitch the good ones to the publisher. And maybe it's similar, except the agent is kind of like the intern level. Like, I don't really know.
But it's even so hard to find an agent.
It is.
Like, that's the thing.
Right.
So, okay, you need to find that version.
Yeah. I don't even know.
Paramount.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. But I think about it this way. Like, you watch movies on Netflix, and there are movies on Netflix that, or just on any streaming service, there's like these incredible films. I honestly think Get Out is one of them. And then you have these other movies that are just like, yeah, I'll just watch it when there's nothing else on. I can write one of those. Okay. I'm not saying I'm Steven Spielberg, but I could write this mystery that you would like a Lifetime movie.
Right.
I could do it. And like, it wouldn't even take that much money to make, you know? It's more money than I have, but like to Sony, it's like...
Whatever.
Yeah.
Drop in the bucket.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Give them something to watch on Netflix.
Speaking of thriller, have you seen The Residence yet on Netflix? It's a show. It's a new Shonda show.
Oh, it's about a hospital maybe?
No, it's about the White House.
Oh.
And there was a murder. Oh. And it's a whodunit. And it's so good.
Okay.
It honestly reminded me of Bridgerton in the sense that it's very camp. So it is about a murder, but it's like, I was laughing out loud every episode. And you have to watch it.
Wait, I saw that on Netflix, but I think I assumed that it was about like a hospital because like The Resident. I don't
love the title.
Okay.
Honestly, but very good. And I watched it in like 2 days.
Wow. Okay.
So there you go.
Okay, maybe I'll watch that.
Yeah.
I looked up other psychological thrillers on my list to give more examples. Prisoners.
Oh, okay. I did watch that.
Incredible movie.
Incredible, but I would never watch it again.
Right, because it has this like horror element.
Very like I forget why I watched it. I think one of my friends was like really telling me to watch it all the time, and I was like, okay, I'm finally gonna watch it. I just was really creeped out the whole time.
Yeah.
And the ending, oh my gosh. I can't think about it.
Crazy. I would also say that kind of teeters on the thing of horror. Is that the right word, teeters?
Yeah.
I think it is. Gone Girl, I put in there. Infinity Pool, never watch it. You can never watch it. Okay,
never even heard of it.
My boyfriend watches these like messed up movies, a lot of them being A24, so they're like filmed incredibly beautifully and like cinematically, but they are so messed up like psychologically, and they like, I think there is something in some of these movies that is having like a bad effect on our brains, but like some people can just handle it, I guess, but like, I don't know. Like, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Ari Aster, incredible writer, director. Are you okay? Is he actually okay? Like, let's just keep like tabs on him because something is going on in that brain and it's not normal, but I applaud him at the same time. Yeah. But yeah, there's just so many like effed up movies.
Yeah.
Whatever. I feel like I kept cutting you off, but you were talking about The White Lotus.
Well, I don't even know if I had anything else to say about The White Lotus.
Okay. It's just filmed very beautifully.
Yeah, I just love looking at something that's like expensive looking.
Yeah.
It's like everything on HBO Max, Euphoria, it's so clear.
Yeah, it is. That's such a good way to put it. Yeah.
It's like, yes. Give me that high budget TV show.
That's a great way to describe it, actually. The White Lotus reminds me of this movie that It's so strange. In college, my roommate and I found it. Oh my God, what is it called?
Oh, I thought you just saw a bug. The way you just like stared.
Sorry,
Okay,
no,
no.
I'm staring off because I'm searching in my memory.
yes.
My friend who like studies the brain said that when you're trying to think of something, you know how like when you're trying to think of something, sometimes it takes you a minute and then you remember it. I'm like, what is that like in our brain? And he was like, they describe it as like these like memory rooms, and sometimes you have to like open a box to like find something, and that's why it takes longer. And then he said that if you're trying to like really, really think of something, for example, if you're at trivia and you're like, what was the dog's name in this TV show? Instead of trying to think of like dog name, like you should walk around and be like, the mom's name was this. This is the plot of one of the stories. This like, so you're like thinking around it.
Yeah.
That's completely irrelevant to what I'm doing right now.
Cool.
But what is this movie called? There's this movie. I don't know how we found it. It was on some sort of like Netflix or Hulu or like whatever existed at the time. And it's filmed so beautifully. It's like reminds me of White Lotus, but it's even more like chill and serene. And it's about these two moms that are best friends, and then they now have sons that are like adults, like maybe in their early 20s. One pair go on vacation and meet up with the other pair at this beautiful like beach in like probably Australia. And then like they swim in the water and they like swim out to the dock, and like the two sons go surfing. It's like the most beautiful film. And then like weirdly like mom number one like starts hooking up with son number two.
Oh.
Mom number two starts hooking up with son number one. And they just like start having these like, I don't know. It's not even graphic, or not that I remember, but we thought it's such a weird movie, but it's so beautiful that we watched it multiple times.
Really?
Oh, I remembered it. It's called Adore.
Oh, okay.
Adore. Yep. I'm going to look it up on Letterboxd.
That's such an interesting plot.
It's so, I don't remember like what happens in the end. Obviously there's like tensions are high because they're like, you're doing that with my son. And it's like, well, you're doing that with my son.
Right.
But you should watch it because it's so beautiful.
I'm in a watchy mood.
Anna Fontaine directed it. Lil and Rose are two lifelong friends, having grown up together as neighbors in an idyllic beach town. As adults, their sons have developed a friendship as strong as that binds their mothers. One summer, all four are confronted by simmering emotions that have been mounting between them, and each find unexpected happiness in relationships that cross the bounds of convention.
That was a very well written.
I know.
Cross the bounds of convention.
Right?
Love.
Naomi Watts is in it.
Oh, okay. Love her.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, anything else?
Anything else? Well, I went to the grocery store the other day. No, wait.
Okay.
And I know how that sounded.
I love it.
Period. But that was it.
I love it.
I was buying anchovies as I do.
Oh.
And they were like at least $1.50 more than they were last time. And it's just happening everywhere, you guys.
It's so sad.
And the thing is, I eat more anchovies than eggs. Everyone's freaking out about the price of eggs, which is still like
crazy.
Yes. And important to me as well, but like I eat anchovies like 3 to 4 times a week. It was so disappointing. I think they were like $3 something and they normally were $1.70. And I'm not buying the fancy brand. I'm buying like the whatever that brand is, very generic. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Wow.
Sick. So you don't want me to have my fish protein. Tinned fish is off the table now.
Wow.
Except it's not. I still bought it because I had to.
That is actually crazy and sad.
I know.
Damn.
Just had to rant or vent, about that.
I don't know if it's ever going to change either.
You think?
I don't know. I'm scared. I think the thing that happens with inflation, though, and why it's so dangerous to go through like a period like this and like the tariffs and everything is because our society will kind of adjust to it and the consumer will adjust. And even if like the tariffs are lifted or if like the price of the goods goes down, a lot of companies will choose to not lower their prices and just keep them as is.
Yeah.
And then that just happens every so often when we have these like times of economic turmoil.
Right.
But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe also I didn't even come up with that. Other people did. And I'm just like repeating it. But maybe that's wrong. And maybe companies will, like, if they see sales are genuinely down, they will. But like, I think for the most part, like, unless we go into like a full recession, like people will still find a way. Mm-hmm. They'll just give up their like vacation.
I will give up vacation for anchovies.
Yeah. Like, and it's so sad. But then the anchovy company is going to be like, well, they can afford it. So let's keep the prices up. But then we just just can never go on vacation again or something like that.
Gosh. At this point, it would be cheaper to go on vacation, get the anchovies in actual Spain, and then just bring them back.
Seriously.
Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. How about that?
Yeah,
economy?
so true.
Mm-hmm.
We're all gonna, actually, maybe this is a good thing. I was gonna say we're all gonna have to start growing our own food, but we probably should do that anyway.
Oh, right. I wish it wasn't so laborious.
I know.
It's also like, I envy people who find peace in gardening.
Oh, yes.
Because I simply do not.
I agree.
I've never liked it, ever. Not once.
I don't hate it, but it's not something that I think I would ever choose to do if I could choose to like do something else.
It's not even about like getting dirty. I don't really care about that. It's just, I guess it's impatience. Like you spend all day in the dirt and then you don't even see it grow. And if you do, it takes forever. Or sometimes deers eat your plants.
Yeah.
It's like you spent all that time planting tomatoes and then the deer eats them. So
dang.
That's cool.
That dang deer. There was a video of Taylor Swift on a radio show when she was like 16.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like doing a Minnesota accent. And she was like, I was driving in my car. No, wait, that was horrible. Cut that out. It was like,
production.
Like, I hit a deer with my van, my minivan on the way to pick my kids up from soccer practice. Now there's a dent in the car and that dang deer and nobody believed me, or like something like that. And she was just like going on and on.
Isn't it crazy to think about a time when Taylor was doing the radio circuits?
Yes.
She doesn't even like go on Jimmy Fallon anymore, let alone do radio.
I know.
She like doesn't really do anything. Magazine interviews.
She truly started from the bottom. Now she's here.
But she's like, I was thinking about that watching the Grammys, because her and Beyonce are kind of like, they don't have to do any press. They don't have to perform. They can sit back and just like put out stuff when they feel like it. I mean, they had to go through the whole thing to get there, but like,
right.
I wonder if she misses it. I'm sure she doesn't.
No, I would think no, because she still has the choice. Like she could go on a radio show if she wanted.
Do you think she's like turned down magazine covers? For
100%,
me,
100%.
I mean, I'm sure behind the scenes it's like a really long day, but like if someone ever asked me to be on Vogue, I would always say yes.
Maybe not Vogue then, but like I feel like she's at the point where like the only magazines she could do are Vogue and Rolling Stone, right?
And Time.
Like,
I guess she did Time.
She did Time. Yeah. But like these are like the most renowned magazines in the world. Like she probably has millions of like startups and like anywhere in the middle coming to her constantly asking for covers and stuff.
Right.
But I actually, has she ever been on Vogue?
Yeah, I think she was on it pretty early on. Remember, she did the Reputation shoot with her that was her platinum era, with those huge boots.
Yes, with the dress that kind of looked like what was the one with Carly Kloss too?
That was also Vogue.
Okay.
I'm picturing another cover where she had like straight hair, very boho.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's like really light colored hair.
Yeah, I think that was Vogue, maybe during Red or something. Like she was on.
Oh, yeah. That one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Okay, she actually did do it a lot, it seems.
Because I think she started doing this like earlier than I even remember. Because she won her Grammy for all those Grammys for Fearless.
Isn't that insane that she won Grammys for her second album?
Like, it was like so long ago. And she was already so renowned.
I know. It's so crazy. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to make this a podcast about Taylor Swift because I feel like we always talk about her. But at the same time, there's so much to say.
All right, one more thought. Say it.
Wait, what was I gonna say now? I guess how she's like maintained her level of stature, if not gotten higher, throughout this whole time. She's never, she dipped a little, I think, during Lover.
I would say the lowest she's ever been was during the pre-Reputation era when she disappeared.
Yeah, but if I also think about like Lover and how it felt very corny.
Yeah, Lover feels very like exactly how she describes it, like glitter gel pens. Yeah. And the world doesn't admire glitter gel pens when it comes to art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're like, that's a kid's toy.
So maybe I'm conflicting Lover, the aesthetic, with how she was perceived. Or no, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, yeah, I agree with you then, because you're right. When she disappeared after dating Calvin,
that was like her lowest press moment. Like when the press, like media was hating on her. But I think that like the Lover era, just because 1989 like skyrocketed her so much. Yeah. That then like when the next like major pop album didn't do that well,
she was just like doing really random press things during Lover, I feel like, and random concerts. She did like Jingle Ball.
Right.
And I'm like, now when you think of Taylor Swift, like she would never in a million years do Jingle Ball.
Right. Right. Although at the same time, they did have pretty big names doing Jingle Ball. Like I saw Justin Bieber at Jingle Ball like in his prime.
Yeah, but like it just feels so far away, I guess, from where she is now.
Yes, absolutely.
Or where she's been for the past 2 years, honestly.
Yeah, the Eras tour really was like life changing for everyone.
Yeah. So I don't really know what my point was for during that whole thing. Just that she's like been so steady.
Yeah.
Pretty much her whole career.
I just saw a video about how this woman was like comparing, it was a TikTok where this woman was trying to compare like Taylor Swift to just pop stars that have to like work way harder or something. And like she was saying, I forget, but like we're conditioned to think that like mediocrity is incredible. And she's like, Taylor Swift hasn't got like her skill hasn't improved in her entire career. Her singing skill hasn't improved. Her writing hasn't improved. And I was like, this is just objectively false. Mm-hmm. Like you're saying this as if it's fact and like none of this is true. And I wouldn't even say that about a singer that I don't like.
Yeah.
Like it's just objectively false to say like after years of singing your voice doesn't improve. Any artist, first of all, anyone on earth can become a better singer, let alone someone that is in the industry and that's their whole profession. And then I was like, you're just so wrong to say that her writing hasn't improved. Like who are you to even say that? Like that's just, I don't even think that's an opinion. If you read the lyrics to her debut album and you read the lyrics to Tortured Poets, you're gonna say that it didn't improve. Like you're just wrong and you're saying whatever you can to make a point. And I just like hate when people do that. Like make these videos with this like authority that comes from literally nowhere and they say things that just aren't true. And I actually saw another video about that. This is like a whole nother topic and it doesn't even have to do with Taylor Swift, but it just has to do with like media consumption in general. People will just make videos and just say things like flat out that have no backing behind them, but if they say it in a certain way, people just like take it as fact. For example, like especially about celebrities, I mean.
Yeah.
For example, I just saw a video where this girl was like, I'm going to prove to you that Love Yourself was written about Selena or like was written about Hailey Bieber and not Selena like everybody thought and like blah, 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 blah. And like, she's like, point number one, blah, blah. And she like is doing this whole presentation. And I was like, it is common knowledge. It's like, I actually thought it was beyond common knowledge. Justin Bieber didn't even write that song. It is like widely known that Ed Sheeran and Benny Blanco wrote it in its entirety. Mm-hmm. And then Ed Sheeran gave it to Justin Bieber.
Wait, yeah, I remember that.
He literally did. Justin Bieber didn't write one word of it, but this girl is giving this whole presentation about how it must be actually written about like this girl instead of this ex. And it's like, you're saying this as if it's like groundbreaking information, but it's literally rooted in a lie. And like everyone in the comments is like, I was like, the top comment has to be that he did not write this song. And like so many people were eating it up. And then there was the occasional like, he did not write this song, Ed Sheeran wrote it. And I'm like, oh my God, thank God. But like,
it's like pushed down.
Yeah, like this is how like misinformation spreads truly. Like the fact that people think that Justin Bieber actually wrote Love Yourself.
Yeah.
And then I think I know where that like rumor of like, oh, he called me 23 times on the wedding day came from. Selena Gomez has a song called Ring. It's a great pop song. It's like just chill. Okay. She did not write it. She literally didn't write it.
So,
and she says like, yes, I received your message, all 23.
Okay, interesting.
You actually think that like every singer wrote every line to every song that they've sung?
No, actually, this is such a valid point because I was listening to another podcast this week that kind of said a similar thing about Benny and Selena's new album and how all the Hailey haters are reading so much into it. Oh, this is about Justin. This is about Hailey.
Right.
And then you would look at the list of songwriters on this album and it's like 50 people long.
Yes.
But everyone applies the Taylor Swift thing to every artist when in reality it's like most artists aren't writing their own songs or they're co-writing them with a bunch of other people.
100%.
And like you listen to Taylor and it's like, yeah, that's her journal. Like you can try to draw lines to men or whoever, ex-friends kind of easily, but anyone else, it's like you really can't do that.
No, it's I am like not trying to devalue anything when I say this. Like even from when I was a child, like I remember sitting in a high school classroom, and there was this girl who was like, I don't like Taylor Swift, but I respect her because she writes her own music, and like I really like, I think that's important, or something like that, like some like 14-year-old's opinion, like. Yeah. But I do think that most people are like, if they write their own music, I respect them more. Why can't someone just be an amazing singer or like musical composer, but maybe they're not the best like poet, or they're not that good at like rhyming words, or maybe they're good at saying like a concept, they're good at storytelling, but they're not good at putting that into, like, they're good at telling their co-writer, I just experienced this is how it made me feel, and then that person went and wrote this beautiful song. Like I could tell Julia Michaels like any story, and she will create this enchanting song based on my story, and then people are gonna be like, oh my god, it's about this, and it's like, no, it's not. She's just an amazing writer, she's just an amazing poet, and she's an amazing composer, and the people that she works with are also amazing composers and music producers. And why do you only respect people that are everything in one? Like Taylor Swift is an amazing writer, she now is a good singer, I think she's a good performer, she has a good like media presence, and so people are like, oh, I respect her for like writing her own songs. Okay, that's great that you respect her for writing her own songs, but like, what if I was the most amazing songwriter in the entire world? Like, what if I could write a song that would make anyone feel something and cry, and I could play the piano and like do it up? I don't have a good voice, so is my work not valuable? But then when I pair it with someone who does have a good voice, like if I gave it to, I see, like they say Ariana Grande writes her, I don't know, who's someone that doesn't write their own music? Like
Selena, maybe.
Selena. If I gave it to Selena and she sung it really well, people would be like, oh, she doesn't write her own song, so we can't like why can't it just be a good song sung? But like, I don't get why you need to have every skill in order for people to like respect you more.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like an actor doesn't write their own scenes. I mean, sometimes they improvise.
Right.
But like they didn't, and like a director, like, why do you have to have every skill in order to be respected? Bless you.
Thank you. No, that is so true. And
I just always thought about that.
I think Taylor Swift is a lightning in a bottle moment. Like, you can't compare people to her because she's like it.
Right.
And it's just not going to happen. You're going to get that once in a decade.
Yeah.
So most people are just, yeah, you're right. Like really, really good at one thing or two things, but not like 10 things.
Right. Like to completely produce like your own songs, that's just like so unrealistic for most people.
Yeah.
I mean, even Taylor, like she is an amazing like musician and writer, but like she doesn't produce her songs from head to toe. So like, do we respect her because she played the piano and wrote the words and then sung it, or do we only respect her because she wrote the words? So like, does the music have anything to do with this like respect that we're like deeming people worthy of? I just think it's a weird argument, and maybe you're right, maybe it is because we have grown up in this time where Taylor Swift is always relevant. Like she came out when we were in like, or she got famous when we were in like 6th, 7th, 8th grade ish.
Yeah.
And ever since then is when I've been hearing people say like, I like people that write their own songs. And it's like, do you even understand the music industry? So we just shouldn't respect Benny Blanco, who has written like almost, or Max Martin. They've written like almost every single pop song, number one pop song since like the early 2000s, but like they don't have a good voice. So like the songs, they're just like not valuable. But that's not true because everyone like no one would ever say that about them. Yeah. People see Max Martin as the most incredible music producer ever, which he probably is, or he's one of them. But then when he writes that song for somebody else, all of a sudden that artist doesn't deserve respect because they don't write their own songs. It's like, what?
I know.
Like, it's so stupid. It's such a dumb argument.
It really is.
And I know there's so many people that are not going to agree with this. Like, most people are going to be like, you should be able to write yours. Like, I don't know.
Here's another example. Celebrities who make a podcast who automatically assume it's going to be the best thing ever, when it's like there's only a select few celebrity podcasts that are actually really good. So it's like, why aren't they all good?
That's a great point. It's kind of what we were talking about earlier about Rebecca and I were talking about interview podcasts earlier, where it's actually really difficult to interview someone and to do it well. And not everyone has that skill. So someone might be the most amazing storyteller or actor, singer, social media personality, but it doesn't mean that they have the skill that it takes to interview someone. Yeah. And I feel like that's why we see all these clips of like influencers or social media personalities on red carpets and they're like blowing it. And then people are hating on them. And like, it's finally coming to like the forefront of conversation where people are like, not everyone has the skill and the ability to interview someone. Yeah. And that's okay. But I also think that that's true when it comes to like these huge, massive podcasts that are now basing their entire like brand around interviews when they are terrible at interview, or maybe not terrible, but they're not like groundbreaking interviews, because anyone can sit there with a card that somebody else wrote and read them a question that was pre-written and the answer is also pre-written.
Yeah.
But it takes actual skill that many people don't have to dig deep with someone and get to know them on a personal level on camera.
A better example is, I think about red carpets and how those have evolved. And now everyone interviewing celebrities are also somewhat celebrity. Like,
yes,
it's these influencers or whoever, like content creators. And it's like, well, what happened to like the Juliana Rancic's of the world who simply went to school for broadcast journalism, worked their way up the ranks, and now they have the chops to actually like know how to interview someone. And that's why I feel like all these red carpet interviews just like are so bad, because they're picking like people based on following counts. And it's like, but they don't know that interviewing is a skill, especially when it's live. Oh my God, I could never. Unless I went to school and like learned it and worked my way up.
And also just like practice the craft for years and years and years. Like anyone can make, not anyone, but a lot of people can make content of themselves and sitting in their room doing their makeup. But yeah, it is such a skill to be able to be live on camera and there's no edits and you're responding to conversation that's unscripted and maybe you have a few questions ready. But like, yeah, I do think this is like finally going to come to the forefront, like after all the stuff that's happened recently where like people are blowing interviews. And I also think that there's like, maybe this has always been how it is, but on the red carpet, when you watch these like celebrity interviews, doesn't it seem like everyone is so young who's asking the questions?
Yeah, that too.
Has that always been that way?
No, I mean, Ryan Seacrest and Juliana, all these like vets.
Yeah.
I feel like we're on the carpet in like their 30s or maybe 20. Maybe Ryan started really young because I feel like he's still young and he's still doing this.
Yeah. Well, how old is he? He looks young, but I feel like he's not young.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he's not like
he's
young,
like very seasoned.
But he probably started when he was like really early 20s.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I would say I agree. Like those two on the red carpet at the Grammys who got the flack.
Oh my God, that was so bad.
For snubbing
Babyface.
Yes. They were what, like 20?
I don't know. I mean,
like they looked so young.
So young.
And I would like to see their credentials, okay?
Yeah.
For being on that carpet in the first place.
And I feel bad because I think the one girl like kind of did the right thing. Like but then the other girl, like it was, and I'm not trying to say that they need to be like excommunicated because of that. It's a mistake, but like.
But Ryan Seacrest would never.
No, really. Really. And someone that was trained trained better for anything revolving around like live TV.
Yeah.
I don't know. And even like on QVC or like things like, or like the news, like people make mistakes. People say these awkward things, but then you have to be able to be like, I don't know, to like save yourself, I guess. Yeah. Like there's no edits. Right. I don't think I could. Live is so scary. Like
I cannot do it.
Yeah. And that's why like when we're saying like not everyone is good at interviewing, I'm not saying I am. Like, but there are people that are, that deserve to have these like #1 interview podcasts in the world. And like, I don't know. I also think that that's the thing with podcasts in general. And this is just all forms of content. I feel like sometimes when people break into the celebrity like entertainment world, it's like they want to do everything. So they want to have a TikTok, a YouTube, a podcast, a TV show, but most people, and there are some people that can do it all. Like, I don't know, I'm sure. Who's an example of someone that like actually does everything right? Like, I don't know. But like not every person has every set of skills and can just like jump in.
She's very controversial, but she's top of mind because she was on a podcast today. I think Bethany Frankel is like kind of doing it all and doing a lot of it really well.
I don't know her. I can't.
She really pops off on TikTok. People love her. People hate her. She has her own podcast, it does really well. She's a entrepreneur. Sold her company for like millions of dollars and now like is probably, in the VC world.
What's VC?
Venture capitalist.
Oh, okay.
Like in that world, what's the word? Like angel investing. Yeah. I'm sure she does that really well. She's been on Shark Tank. Like, so I think she's a good example of someone who does a lot of different things and does all of them pretty well.
Yeah.
She has really good charities, but I know that she's kind of like she's out there.
Okay.
But so she's controversial, but I think she's a good example.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to, I was going to say a Kardashian.
I was going to say that too. My only drawback was going to be they're really good at reality. And that's what they have. And like they're incredible at reality TV. But like.
And business.
Business, yes. I kind of think though that like there are a lot of people that have like a knack for business, especially if they had like a partner or a coach. So I don't even really count that as like this skill that I'm talking about. But like, honestly, Emma Chamberlain is a good example.
Yeah, that's a good example.
She is such an incredible YouTuber. She has a knack for podcasting. She's in the fashion space. She knows how to model. Like, she knows how to be in photos and like serve. And I don't know if she does TikTok. I don't think she does, right?
I don't think she does, actually.
But regardless, social media, TikTok's a form of social media. I'm sure she'd be able to do short form if she really tried, if she wanted to. And I heard she's going to be in a feature film. She's acting. Did you hear this?
And did you mention the coffee brand?
Oh, yeah, the coffee brand. And she also, obviously, she's probably not the one doing all the branding, but she probably does have like a lot of say in the creative because she's just a creative person. But yeah, the coffee brand, and she's like the face of it.
I did not hear the feature film. That's crazy.
She's going to be in a movie.
Oh my God.
Wait, I think she's going to be in like a big movie too.
A24?
Yeah, probably, literally. Wait, I'm going to look it up.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, no,
that's a great example. Emma Chamberlain. And she's kind of skirted around like any controversy. I feel like people just have loved her all these years.
And she also did interviews at the Met, and she is so
Wait, you're
good
right.
at it.
She's good at it.
She's so personable.
Okay, that's a great example.
And I don't know if she's good at like literally interviewing people. Like, I watched her podcast where she talked to Kendall Jenner. I don't even know if I would say that was an interview because it was more just like a conversation.
Yeah.
But she does interview people or she did at least, on the red carpet, and everyone was so comfortable around her.
Yeah.
And she just seems to click with a lot of people very well. Like, she's a very like people person. Okay, let's see. What movie is she in? Forbidden Fruits?
Okay, haven't heard of it.
It's new. I don't think it came out yet. The cast also includes Lola Tung. Isn't she the lead in Summer Camp Pretty? Lily Reinhart.
Okay.
Victoria Pedretti.
No way.
And Alexandra Shipp.
That's the only name I don't know.
I wonder when it's going to come out.
Huh.
But like,
star-studded.
Yeah, and well, okay, we haven't seen her act yet, but one thing I've noticed about Emma is I kind of feel like she doesn't do things unless she's good at them.
I was going to say, she is like, I don't know who's around her. You know what? It's similar to Taylor Swift, honestly, in a lot of ways, where I feel like Taylor's an example of someone who I think just had really good people around her. And I think Emma is probably similar, where like she's just had really good advisors from a really young age who's like, don't be promoting like tummy teas, like don't just be slapping your name on everything.
Wow, that's a good point.
And I guess that was really my point. I don't know that I think I had more of a point, but I think that's my point.
No, I mean, it definitely is the people that are around you that
like
are advising you and helping you make these decisions, because no one can just do it all on their own.
Yeah, I feel like she started so young but has made really good choices this whole time.
Yes, that's a good point. Like, I do think that, I mean, it's not like it's a bad thing to like try something new. And, you know, if you want to try like this other form of content or like entertainment, like definitely try it. But I do think that kind of what you were saying earlier, like why are these like celebrity podcasts, not all of them are like incredible. I feel like it's because when someone is like really good at one thing, we just assume that they're going to be good at everything that's in front of a camera. But then in reality, like, it really actually makes sense that, I mean, I can't think of any examples, but like, let's say a really amazing actor started a podcast and they just like weren't that good at interviewing people. Like, why would they be good at interviewing people? They've acted and they're a trained actor and they're an incredible actor. So like, that doesn't mean that they have the skill and the natural ability to talk to people.
But I don't even think it's like we assume they'll be good. I think they assume they'll be good based on their stature.
True.
Or based on following.
Yes.
Like, I think Kim did start a podcast last year, right? It was like about law.
Oh, I don't even know.
And it just like stopped. And I'm like, yeah, because followings don't always translate, especially with a podcast. It's really hard to do.
I didn't know about Kim's, but Khloé just launched a podcast.
Yeah, I think she's trying. I think she's getting good guests. I haven't listened, but I see clips sometimes.
I saw that she had Scott and Malik and Khadijah and her mom.
She had...
I was like, wait, isn't this just your TV show?
Wait, I think she had like Jay Shetty or someone on.
Okay.
But also like he has everyone on at this point.
Yeah,
too.
I don't know. He's like a celebrity just like them.
Yeah, okay, maybe not.
I mean, it would be cool. I mean, I guess that he is a good guest, but like she's definitely gone on his, or at least Kim has.
Yeah, she has. I think out of all of them, she would honestly be the best podcast host because she's like funny.
Yes.
To me, on the show, she's the funniest and I think like quick-witted sometimes.
Yeah.
So I could see hers actually working out. But Kim, I'm like, it doesn't surprise me that didn't work out. She's not like a talker.
Right.
You know? Like,
no, I agree.
She's not a yapper.
But I kind of also don't think that Khloé's a talker either, because she had a Cocktails with Khloé show where that was about like having guests on and it completely flopped. But I think it would actually be more interesting for Khloé to do. I only listened to the first one with Scott and the one with Malika and Khadijah. And the Scott one was boring. It was like all stuff we already knew. Like it was stuff they like have already spoken about on the show, and like nothing groundbreaking occurred. I was like, okay, like boring. And then I keep seeing the thumbnail of the Kris Jenner one, and it's like, I know this is going to be scripted questions with scripted answers. Like I just don't care. Like if I wanted to watch them, I would watch their show, which sometimes I do. But with Malika and Khadijah, I thought it was interesting because they were talking about like their friendship and how they met and like what their life was when they first started hanging out, and like the guys they would see and the things they would do and like all of this. And I was like, now this would actually be interesting. You know how a lot of actors actually will go back and like have a show about, or a podcast about their TV show. Yeah. And some of them are like grasping at straws. Like
for sure.
I'm not going to name names, but there's a children's television show.
I know what you're talking about.
It doesn't need a reboot and it doesn't need a podcast.
No.
But then there's some that are like these groundbreaking shows that are like will be remembered forever, like The Office, honestly.
Glee.
I never watched that one, but I also think that's like a groundbreaking show that had like a cult following. Like these shows are the ones that, and they took like a lot goes into the production, and it's just really interesting. So I've listened to the Office Ladies podcast, and they deep dive on like so much that goes into like every episode, the writing, the directing, like what was improvised, like what, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting what it's called, but there's like the person that keeps an eye on consistencies. I'm totally blanking on the word, but it's like basically if I had my hand here in the first take,
I know what you're talking about.
Continuity expert.
Yeah.
They talk about that, and it's just so interesting, and they do it so well. And then there's some that it's just like, okay, like,
right,
we get it. You had 2 seasons of a children's show, like
you're trying to do something
27 years ago. Yeah. But I think Khloé, it would be interesting if she went back through the Kardashian episodes and talked about like what actually was happening. And even if she said like this was fully for the show, or like because you know like the Kardashians, like, and with all reality shows, like
it was fake. Just say what it is.
Not all of them are fake, but there's definitely situations where they only did this activity.
Todd Grains.
Okay, yes, but that was very funny.
It was funny, but Todd Grains.
That's a good one. Also, like getting the house in the Hamptons for the summer and like going out. Like I've even heard Kim like on the show, she talks about how like she goes out to dinner to film. Like that's like an activity that's like the production schedules. Kim will go to dinner, like it's in the script. Like she's going to dinner and this is what's happening.
Yes.
And I think that that's interesting. Like I wish Khloé would just go back through like all of the episodes and be like, the Bentley, like they're just jealous of me because they can't afford to have a Bentley. Like, did Kim only buy the Bentley because of the show? And like
probably
was going there with her, like how much of that was scripted, like what was real? Like I don't know.
Well, were you a fan of The Hills? Did you watch that?
No, I didn't watch it.
Kristen Cavallari and Stephen Colletti, or no, Laguna Beach, sorry. They did a rewatch podcast, and it was so good. I ate it up every episode. And then they had Lauren Conrad on, which was like a huge moment because they notoriously like feuded in high school.
Oh, and they high schoolers.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They really peeled back the curtain. It was really interesting.
That's so interesting.
And I'm like, it was so well done because they didn't try to keep it going past its prime. Like, it was like, we're just going to
end it at a time.
Yeah. It's like a special like podcast limited run. And I'm like, they did it so well.
Oh my God. Khloé really should do that.
Yeah.
That would be so much more successful and more interesting than interviewing Kris Jenner. And like, how did you get like I don't even honestly I don't even know what she asked her because I didn't watch it, but like what is she gonna tell us that we don't already know? Unless it's a secret about the show,
which probably not,
which I feel like they're way too like perfect now to like ever tell people. So on the one about Laguna Beach, did they say anything was actually fake, or like we only did
they said like anything you wanted to know, basically they said it.
Oh wow.
So they said a lot of it was fake. I didn't hate Lauren. We were just in high school. We had no idea. They took advantage of us.
Oh my God.
It was kind of like the first reality show too, in a lot of ways. Well, no, I guess the real world was that. But like, what am I saying? Like kind of semi-scripted reality show. It was like the first of its kind.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to sign, or they got paid like nothing.
Wow.
Like it was like really crazy. But this was 2003, I think. So
wait, speaking of another reality show where it was like a podcast, Holly Madison did a podcast going back and talking about the girls next door. And I thought that was interesting too, because it was not, all of that was fake. Like they were all like unwell.
Yeah.
And like
sad.
Oh yeah, it's very sad. But her book, her autobiography is so entertaining. Like it's so interesting. And then her on the podcast, like that was also interesting how they like dug into like each episode and like told the truth about it all.
Yeah.
The Kardashians really should do that. That would actually make them, I think, too, more likable.
Yeah. They do try to be so polished now.
I know.
It's like every episode is trying to sell me Skims. I'm already gonna buy it, okay?
It is true. A new season just came out, right?
I don't have Hulu.
Okay.
So I don't know, but I think so.
I saw the one where Khloé met up with Lamar.
Yes, I heard about that.
It was very anticlimactic and
Of
like
course.
nothing happened.
Again, kind of grasping at straws. Like, did they want to reach out to Lamar, or they needed material for the show?
I think they needed material.
Yeah.
I've heard that they're on the viewership is a little bit down right now.
The pre-Hulu, the E version of it used to get so annoying with like the gimmicks.
What do you mean?
Like, wasn't there one episode where they, like, all the pranks, I mean.
Oh.
And I'm like, this is, I just don't care. Like, I just want to have a camera follow you around on your silly little salad runs.
But, like, if you think about it, they got to the point where they actually can't even do that, though. And they can't just, like, have a camera following them around because, like, all the things that they're talking about in their daily life is, like, very confidential. Like, they're talking about, like, their kids and their businesses and, like, the marketing moves that they're making. Although those would be interesting. Not the kids, but, like, the marketing and the business stuff. But, like, they're so secretive about so much.
But then don't have a show.
Yeah, that's,
you know?
Exactly. Like, you can't have a show about, like, you can't have a reality show and then just, like, craft and only show, like, 2% of your life. Like,
yeah.
No, like, that's just not interesting.
I I love the episodes where they would go to the Palm Springs house or they would have, like, a birthday party.
Yeah.
Or something happened and they, actually talked about it. And I'm like, I don't need to see one more prank of, like, Kris Jenner doing something to the daughters that they probably know about because they know they're filming. Like,
yeah.
I don't care.
Wait, that's so funny. I liked the old episodes when they went on vacation.
Yeah.
And, like, there was, like, the one scene
Bora
of them.
Bora.
Oh, my God, the Bora Bora. Yes.
That is an iconic trip.
Oh, my God, yes. And the earring, you can't script that. Like, that's so good. But that's what I mean. Like, we know that they only went there for the show. Like, they went on vacation with production for the show. But then it's like the things that are happening while you're there are probably naturally unfolding because that's just how life works.
Yeah.
But those are the things that I wish Khloé would dive deep on. Like, I wish Khloé did an episode about the Bora Bora trip where she's like, yes, obviously we plan to go with production. We flew there. Like, I'm also a lover of logistics. And that's why I think that the Office Ladies podcast is really interesting because they talk a lot about logistics and, like, it doesn't snow in LA, but it snows in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So, like, how do we fake snow and, like, how do we fake winter and, like, all of that stuff. So I wish Khloé would talk about, we flew there on this jet. This is how many camera people we had. This is how many rooms we took up. We rented out the entire place so that we didn't have to pay or blur the people in the background. Like, what literally went on there? Like, I want to know that. And I think that other people would want to know that too.
I love when they started to break the fourth wall.
Yes.
On towards the tail end of E, and that one episode where they told them they were splitting up with E and going to Hulu.
Yes.
I'm like, wait, that's the most interesting thing you've done in years on this show.
I completely
like
agree.
Showing the producers crying. I'm like,
I completely agree.
That's so real. They're part of, like, they're invisible to us, but they're really in their lives.
I completely agree. I thought that was so interesting. And then another scene, I think it was on I did watch the Hulu show, but I think what I'm thinking of is the old episodes where they went on a trip to Costa Rica. Yes. And there's, like, a very, like, quick scene. Honestly, I know this because on my YouTube recommended, it's been like Kardashian highlight videos, and they're, like, an hour long. So I just put them on in the background. So I, like, hear it all happening. It's a great thing to watch if you just want background sound. Like, I would highly recommend it. I listen to them all the time. But there's a scene where Kim is talking about going to Costa Rica for North's birthday, and then Kourtney is like, oh, well, why do I have to pay for this? And so Kim explained, actually, logistics of a plane. She was like, I booked a private plane for me, my kids, and the production team, or the security or something. Kourtney asked if she could go. I said yes. So then we had to put all of the staff on commercial flights. So I asked Kourtney to pay for the commercial flights for the staff, and Scott said that he would pay for security. And then Kourtney was, like, upset that she had to pay pay for that. She was like, if we're using it for the show, why isn't the show paying for it? Which, as a small business owner, I completely agree with. If it's for a business expense, like if it's the producers and the filmers flying there, yes, the production like should be paying for that.
That's actually true. Yeah.
Maybe the security is the only thing that like that's a personal thing.
Yeah.
That's a personal matter, but whatever. So I was like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Because now we know that you guys actually talk about money, and like I want to know who pays. Like,
yes,
I want to know when they go out to dinner, like whose card is going down.
Yeah.
These are the logistics that I wonder.
Yeah. And like the real reason that Kim and Kourtney were fighting, wasn't there like a whole other thing behind that they weren't saying on camera? And it had to do with money.
In the face?
It might have been a later fight. I don't know. I just like,
very interesting. I don't even know.
Yeah.
How did you hear about this side quest fight? Or like reason for the fight?
Twitter, maybe, probably.
Wow. So anyway, Khloé Kardashian, if you're listening, this is what you need to do on your podcast to get more viewers than your actual show.
Yeah.
Like I actually think that more people would watch this than their actual show right now.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, you're welcome.
Free idea.
Yeah. We're like Girl Boss Town over here.
I love
giving
Girl Boss
people.
Town.
She has the best ideas, and then these brands actually do them, and like she just doesn't get paid. I'd be furious.
I know. She probably is.
Well, some of them probably do, but some of them probably don't.
Yeah.
I mean, she is just kind of putting it out there.
No,
but
I mean, she probably is furious. Is what I mean.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you said I thought you meant she probably is getting paid, and I was like, really?
No, I think they steal them.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm sure her putting those ideas out there, some of them get stolen, but then some of them book her jobs with companies that want her ideas. So I guess it works out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow. Another episode of just yapping, which I love.
I loved. That was fun.
What should we call it? The entertainment industry isn't for you.
Yes. Honestly.
The entertainment industry is not for you. It's for people like us.
We should just totally clickbait and do like blind item number 493.
Yes. The truth about the Kardashians.
The truth about Hailey Bieber.
Oh my God.
That'll get so many clicks right now.
It literally would. Why Hailey Bieber will never have a podcast.
Oh my God.
Like just dumb shit. Like.
Although I love Hailey Bieber, so send me some road PR. I will gladly accept. Okay.
I just think in general, people need to realize that all the videos that are posted about celebrities are purely speculation. And a lot of the people that are making these videos are probably well aware of the fact that none of it is true. But it does well and it gets a lot of views. Therefore, it makes them money. And that is the root of what people care about. So just don't believe everything you hear and don't believe everything you think.
Yeah.
And you don't know these people. Neither do I.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet, at least. Justin, I'd love to collab. I am a huge fan, and I'll say it until the day I die.
Yes.
Justice is an incredible album, and it's a no-skip album.
I'll shuffle that tomorrow.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We love you. We appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.